Think I'm live, guys. Yep, it says I'm live. Let me go ahead and mute my audio over here. I hope this doesn't screw things up. All right, so whenever you guys come into the chat, I would like for you to let me know and make sure everything is good on the audio. What's up, Donald Trump? And then, yeah, just make sure everything's good. I'm glad to be here. Hey, what's up, Tyler? So basically, today was a ridiculous day. We hit 8,000 subscribers yesterday, and then today we're already at like almost 8,200, and it has been blowing my freaking mind this past week. Like, for some reason, I don't know what it was. I think maybe the week before last, I uploaded a whole bunch of videos, but like this week, the channel and like the way I view things as blowing up has like blown up. It has been crazy. If you follow me on Snapchat, then you kind of know what I'm talking about. So, thank you, Jonathan. So, love the phone. Thank you. You're joining the Army in March. Awesome. That's a great time to join because it's going to be some good weather. It's going to be some great weather. And let me change this around so I can look right here at you guys. And let me minimize that, X that off. And then, oh, we're already at 36 people. That is awesome. Freaking awesome. But yeah, like the subs have been going up really fast. I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, I got 124 in one day. And that's just crazy because only like 2-ish months ago, I was only getting like 15 to 20 a day. So it has been like, I don't know. I'm just like, my mind is blown, everybody. My mind is just like, and then like the amount of views overall that the channel gets has been crazy. Holy crap, 74 people watching. Gosh, thank you, Elvis. Did you ever want, oh, what was that question? Did you ever want to do Army, SF, or Rangers? Yes, whenever I initially wanted to go into the military, whenever I was 18 years old, I was initially going to go in as SF. I've explained this whole story a lot before, so I was going to do that, had all the paperwork signed and ready to go, and ended up not doing it. Years later, I decided that the reserves would be better for me and what I want to do, but I still am going to and / want to go to Ranger School, so I will be going to Ranger School probably. Right now, I'm going to probably pick the date for like March or April of 2019, maybe, because next year I'm going to Bullock, which is my officer training where I'm going to learn my job as a signal officer. And then for me, I actually get to pick that day of when I go to Bullock. And what I'm going to do, because Ranger School is going to be after Bullock, so I don't want to go to Ranger School in the winter, and I don't want to go to Ranger School in the summer. So my Bullock is only like, I think 3 months or so. So I'm going to try and do that in the winter. So leave to go to Bullock training probably around January. And then by the time that's done, then I can go to Ranger School sometime around April. And that'll be like perfect weather. So Ranger School is going to be 2 months. So as long as I don't fail a phase, I'll be at Ranger School in April and May, which will be great weather for Georgia and Florida and all those places that I'm going to be going. 100 people. Holy cow. Wow, 100 freaking people. Jeez. But yeah, I never really wanted to be in the 75th Ranger Regiment. I did want to be Special Forces for a while. But I am going to go to Ranger School, which is different than the 75th Ranger Regiment. So I went to Fort Benning in August at AIT now for 25 Bravo. Hey, you're at AIT for 25 Bravo. What company are you in? KD Aerials. What company are you in? I was in Echo 551, kind of in that one building that's kind of way off, secluded from everything. They probably have built up more stuff around it now. But, yeah, so Echo 551, that's where I was at Fort Gordon. And the company I was at Fort Benning, Georgia for basic training was Charlie 247. So Charlie Company, I was the Outlaws, 4th Platoon. 4th Platoon's the best platoon, at least at basic training now. It doesn't really matter otherwise after that. So anyways, hey man, 17, I've already sworn in, and Army Guard. Okay, plan on going active after college. Kind of said that I went Kind of sad that I went to basic in August 2018, though I'm a senior. Kind of sad that I get. No, that's fine. I mean, is that the earliest that you can go? Is basic in 2018? ST Silver? That's my question I'm asking you right now, because that's kind of a long wait to go. Yeah, if you're a senior in high school, I mean, you could leave over the summer if that's possible. Alpha 551. So okay? I was Echo 551. You were Alpha 551. So I know if the barracks are still where they're at now, I know where you're at. So that's pretty cool. But whenever I was there, Echo 551 was, they had like the nicer barracks, but we kind of had like a lot more rules and crap than some of the other companies that were in Echo 5 or in 551. So I got a 77 on the practice ASVAB. Should I do as well on the real test? Yes. Matthew Carl, I think you should do really well on the practice ASVAB. I didn't study for either one of them myself. I think on the practice ASVAB, whenever I was at the recruiter's office, I got something in the 80s on the practice ASVAB, and then on the actual ASVAB, again, without any studying or anything, I got a 91 on the ASVAB. So, like, if you got a 77, I don't think you really need to study. You're probably going to max out the ASVAB. You're going to get all the GT score above 110, which if you have a GT score above 110, that qualifies you for all the jobs in the military. So, Bravo 551, awesome. So, if you got a 77, I think you're fine. Did you get any certs at 25 Bravo? Yeah, KD, I went and tried to get the CCNA certification. I don't know how many weeks you are in at 25 Bravo School, but I tried to get the CCNA certification. I didn't want to get the Security Plus one because basically we had to read like a huge book to do that, and I hate reading. But I tried to get the CCNA one. I missed the you have to take like an entry test to take the certification, so they don't pay for your certification to take that. And I missed that practice test by like a question or two. It was like really, really close. So I didn't actually get to take a certification, but I was trying to prepare for that one. Ended up not getting it, and then everything else, I was just like, screw it. So I'm at 60 push-ups, down 54, 54, 54. I'm at 60 push-ups in a minute, 70 sit-ups in a minute. 70 sit-ups in a minute? Holy, really? 70 sit-ups a minute and a 7:15 mile. Would I be okay for basic physically? Yeah, I think you'll be okay. The only question I have for you is if you're doing 70 sit-ups in a minute, be sure you're actually doing full sit-ups, because I mean, your push-ups are good, but like 70 sit-ups in a minute, that more than likely, I'm not like trying to bash or anything, but more than likely, I've never seen anybody do that many in a minute. More than likely, you're doing maybe kind of more like crunches type things. I know the Air Force does certain things, but make sure when you're doing sit-ups that you go all the way up, not just to where your elbows are touching your thighs. They have to go farther than that, basically to where your chest is touching your legs. So keep that in mind. Now, for some people, their body is just going to be built differently than mine. I literally have to go all the way up, but for some people, they don't have to go up as far as I do. But make sure when you're doing sit-ups, you're doing them correctly. Because for you guys that are going to like basic training and AIT, they are a lot more strict on the PT test at basic training and AIT, especially basic training. They're super, super strict on your push-ups and your sit-ups, okay? So, like, even some of the stuff that I've done, like some of the push-ups that I've done in my Sunday videos and stuff, some of those push-ups won't count. And I know I did one video where I think that I probably should have done a better job with my form, and so a lot of those wouldn't have counted. So, like, when you're at basic training, it has to be, like, perfect push-ups, and it has to be perfect sit-ups, or they're just not going to count it, okay? So keep that in mind. For you guys that are training to go to basic training, make sure you're training as perfect as possible. Once you get out of basic and AIT, honestly, it's a little bit more laid back on the PT test, because a lot of times the people that are grading you now are just people that are your friends, like higher NCOs and stuff than you that you talk to and stuff, and they'll just tell you, hey, make sure you go lower, make sure you go higher, make sure you lock out your arms and stuff like that. But they generally won't, like, every now and then they might deduct a repetition or so, but like generally it's not going to be like at basic training where like sometimes like I would get like 6 or 7 reps taken off of my push-ups because like, you know, this right here is not extended, but this is. So like you got to be really careful at basic training. So anyways, anyone take the OPAT? Is it hard? I'm a little bit behind on the comments right now, but Jordan, the OPAT is really not that difficult. The most difficult thing about this is, well, there's 2 difficult things. If you've never deadlifted before and you don't think you can deadlift over 200 pounds, that's gonna be harder for you, right? You're not gonna be able to max out that portion of the OPAT if you can't deadlift. I think it was like right at 200 pounds, 220 pounds or so. The only other thing that's actually in my opinion, the most difficult thing, because it requires the most energy and you get the most tired from it, is the shuttle sprint back and forth, back and forth. What happens is you're gonna have these 2 cones, you know, like 50 feet or so apart from each other, and there's going to be a beeper that is going to be going off, and it's going to beep every 10 seconds. And then you have to get to the other end at that 10 seconds. And you do that a few times, and then it'll beep every 9 seconds, and then it'll beep every 8 seconds, and then it'll beep every 6 seconds. So you got to keep running faster and faster and faster and faster, and you just got to keep doing that nonstop, just continuously. And that is the hardest part. It gets a little bit tiring. But the thing about the OPAT is it's not hard to max out. So you get like lightweight, it's like lightweight, middleweight, and heavyweight, which defines whether or not you can really do like combat arms and stuff. But to get heavyweight, which qualifies you for infantry and all these other combat MOSs, it's, in my opinion, not that difficult. So, Suicidal Gnome. I'm currently stuck at 55 max push-ups. Any tips on how to get more? Yeah, if you haven't seen my video about like maxing your push-ups and improving your push-ups and stuff, the thing that I use a lot is the diamond grip push-up to close grip push-up to wide grip push-up, and I do that a lot. Like if I really want to improve my push-ups, I will do that more than anything. The other thing that you really need to do is increase the volume of push-ups that you're doing, and then and what I mean by that is like every day try to have like a goal. You know, I'm going to do 200 push-ups today, and I'm going to do that every day for this entire week, and the next week I'll have a rest day, and then I'm going to do 300 push-ups a day every day. So you want to increase your volume of push-ups that you're doing, and then as well continuously testing yourself on how many push-ups you can do to the max. So if 55 push-ups is your max and you're wanting to improve your maximum, then you need to, number one, do those diamond push-ups, that stuff that I said, and then also try to reach your max point. So like the most push-ups that I've done in the 2 minutes on the PT test was 101. I don't have another PT test until January, but right now I'm kind of building up my volume of push-ups, but about a month out, I'll really start on a regular basis. I'll be doing 2 minutes of push-ups as much as I can to try and push that peak up a little bit more. So for me, it's getting a lot more difficult for me to move that 101 push-ups in 2 minutes to 102 push-ups and then maybe 103 push-ups, but you can improve 55 pretty quickly. So, does Army Intelligence see combat? Esteban Diaz. Pretty much every MOS can see combat. The big thing here is what unit are you attached to. So you could be just pick an MOS out of the air. You could be attached to a combat unit. You could be attached to the 82nd Airborne. You could be a support unit to some special forces group. You can be a support unit to them, and that is going to put you in harm's way, or it's going to make you more likely to be put in harm's way. So like, it's not like a yes or no question. Does this MOS see more combat than this MOS? That's not really kind of how it works. Like sometimes people will be infantry. They'll be infantry for their entire 4-year contract, and they'll never see combat, not once, right? Whereas somebody who joins as a support MOS, they do their 4 years and they have been in multiple firefights, right? So it literally just depends on your unit, where you go, luck, right? That's a big thing that has to do with it, is luck. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about that. All right. Yeah, you want to keep track of your diet too. I mean, that's important. And also, if you're trying to like increase your maximums and your strengths and stuff like that, you don't really want to be trying to lose weight. So if you're somebody who is overweight right now and you're trying to increase your maximum reps for your push-ups and all that stuff, like, you're only going to be able to get so far before your calorie deficit might be hindering your growth on that. So Aaron Cox, hey, I'm currently getting my MDiv. I was thinking about becoming a chaplain, but I really want to actually be alongside the soldiers on the ground. Do you think enlisted will be better? Chaplains can be with the soldiers a lot. They're actually, like, if that's what you want to do is be with the soldiers, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but in my sense of the word, it's like you're just around soldiers a lot. You're talking with them, hanging out with the enlisted people. Chaplains will do that. That's kind of like their job, is to mentor and help and teach people that are in the Army. If what you mean by being alongside soldiers is being in combat with them, then don't be a chaplain, because they're not going to fight. You know, chaplains aren't going to have weapons. So if you want to be alongside your soldiers and have a weapon and do all that stuff, then you need to do that. All right, let's see here. 100 watching and 44 likes. What the heck? Somebody just left that comment. For some reason, this live stream thing that YouTube has set up in like the settings and stuff here, I can't actually see the likes. So which is odd. So yeah, like, if you haven't liked the video yet, what the heck, guys? What the heck? So, Hot Dog Man, I want to be deployed. Yeah, I want to be deployed too, but currently the way things are with me, I'm not going to be able to be deployed until I finish my training as an officer, which will be 2019. Yeah, it'll be like 2019 when I finish my training as an officer, and then I can deploy after that. I assume, honestly, that I'm going to get deployed fairly quick after that. But we will see. I will be super willing to deploy as soon as I finish my stuff, because I'm just saying, guys, officer pay is really, really good. I want to make a video soon just like showing you guys like the differences in officer pay versus enlisted, the retirement pays, because you get paid bank as an officer. I'm just saying, you do. Like, you really do. Now, I told my brother, he told me that about a month ago. So he was Skyping or whatever from his deployment, and like, for some reason, like, he just came to the realization that officers get paid a lot. And I was like, yeah, but at the same time, I'm like, well, we have like student loans and stuff to repay back. So, well, some of us, like me, that didn't go from high school and get like an ROTC big scholarship. But anyways, sports fan. Yeah, sports fan. I want to be a Ranger or SF. What physical stuff I have to do to get the contract? I'm not 100% sure on like the actual special test you have to take. I'm pretty sure that you actually have to take, if you want to do special forces, like an additional PT, like an additional physical assessment test before enlisting. I know you have to do that, but I'm not exactly sure what the requirements on that are. For my advice, if you want to be SF and if you want to be Ranger, people do not freaking understand. You've got to be freaking in shape, okay? If you are not in shape, you're not going to make it, okay? I'm just saying. Now, getting through basic training, that's one thing. But becoming a Ranger in the 75th Ranger Regiment, making it past the Ranger Assessment and Selection Program, making it past the Special Forces Selection, SFAS, you've got to be in shape, okay? Like, to be in a Ranger, that PT test that you have to do, you know, when you have to run 5 miles in under 40 minutes, like, if you are struggling to run the 2 miles right now, like, you really need to push yourself. And if you are wanting to be a Ranger, like a 75th Ranger, and you're wanting to be Special Forces, Be killing it on that PT test. Be killing it on that PT test. I'm telling you. Because I see way too many people enlisting with an option 40 contract that are wanting to go airborne ranger that can barely pass the PT test. You are expected. You are the guys that really do the heavy lifting in the military. Okay? So, like, you have to be up for that. So, anyways. 59 likes. Now 65. Now 70. 72. Okay, that's awesome. You guys have been liking the video. That's freaking awesome. Yeah, you have to be in insane shape for special operations. Like, that's true. Do you have to be smart to be a ranger? No, you don't have to be really that smart to be a ranger, but you will have to be smart to be special forces. Okay, like you're just gonna have to be smart to be special forces. Everybody I've ever known that was SF, or people that I've known people that were SF, they're smart. For example, my little brother, he has spent more time with them than I have, because he was stationed at Fort Bragg. Now he's deployed in Afghanistan. But at Fort Bragg, that's where all the special forces guys are. That's where like the Delta Force guys are. So for the special forces guys, you know, from his standpoint, they're all really smart, because he went on a training exercise with them in Texas for a month, where he was basically playing the Op 4 for special forces, and they were doing all these training and tactics, and he was just like they're really smart. And also on top of that, special forces, you're gonna have to learn another language, so that's interesting. Chat's moving so fast. Yeah, I know. Like, what was it? Southern Trail King. Yeah, the chat is moving pretty fast. So, hi, Cindy Lopez. My brother is SF. Oh, really? Nice, nice. Like I said, like, you know, I kind of, at this point in my life, I kind of regret not going SF whenever I initially did that. Whenever I was 18, I kind of regret it, but there's nothing I can do about it now. I'm super happy with what I'm doing now, but yeah. So anyways, what's my MOS? It's confusing, right? So how many times do I get asked this question during live streams? I get asked this question a lot. But it used to be 25 Bravo, which is an IT specialist. I am now a cadet, which really doesn't have an MOS, but I am going to be a 25 Alpha, which is a signal officer. So I will be over all of the 25 series. What do you have to do to become an officer? Nick Delmore. So there's two main routes that you can go to become an officer. There's a couple more ways to do it that are really uncommon. Like if you have your PhD, you can directly commission and stuff like that. But the two main ways, or I'll talk about three, but the two main ways is, number one, ROTC. The other thing that I wanted to say was the Green to Gold program, which is if you enlist into the military, you can do the Green to Gold program, enlisted to officer, and then you will leave, go to school, and do the ROTC program. So, with that being said, you can do ROTC, which if you have no military experience, you'll have to do 4 years of the ROTC program, get your 4-year degree, and then once you finish all of the training requirements and all that stuff, and you are good enough, you will commission after you graduate as a second lieutenant, which I'll be commissioning on May 13th, 2018. So I'm really excited about that. So that's one way that you can become an officer. So doing that. Also, side note for that, if you have joined the military, if you've gone to basic training in AIT, you only have to do 2 years of ROTC. You can skip the first 2 years. You don't have to do that. So it's a progression system. So the stuff you learn the first year is basic. The second year is a little bit harder. The third year is a little bit harder. The fourth year is more high level. So that's ROTC. The other way is OCS. So you can do OCS one of two ways. If you've graduated college already and you already have your 4-year degree, you can enlist into the military and then have on your contract that you're going to go to OCS, and you will go to OCS right after basic training. So you will go to basic training and then you will go to OCS. That's one way you can become an officer with a 4-year degree already. Another way is if you enlist into the military, you go throughout the ranks and you reach, I believe, E6, so staff sergeant. and then you want to transfer over, you can then go through OCS as a staff sergeant, and OCS is a 12-week course basically, and then you can become an officer that way. So that's really like the couple ways: OCS and ROTC. And really there's two ways to do OCS, which is enlist directly because you have your 4 degree already, or enlist, spend about 4, 5, 6 years in the military, and then try to go OCS, which that one is the harder one to do. What did you do to stay motivated at Fort Gordon AIT? Not much. Fort Gordon is really... Got to get back to homework. Have a good one. See you, Zachary. Fort Gordon is really not that bad of a place, right? If any of you guys ever go to Fort Gordon, if you're going to AIT there, if you're going to get stationed there, it's really not that bad of a place. There is stuff around the post. So like there's like the mall and like places to eat, places to go, and some things to do around. The fort itself is pretty cool too. There's a golf course, there's the shooting range, there's a horse place, like pen where you can ride horses and stuff. I've golfed there and I've shot there. You can get like AK-47. You can get all these different guns at the range there. So that's really cool. I think they are building, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think they have reopened the movie theater. So it's pretty cool. But the main thing I did at Fort Gordon, just to pass the time and get things over with, was going to the gym. I went to the gym like every day at at AIT that I could, because, you know, I went to the classes. I got home from class, you know, around 18:30, and then I just went to the gym with my buddies. Me and my 2 buddies, we went to the gym, and then we came back and we were ready for basically the roll call, right? And that's kind of what I did every day, and that's what I like doing, and that's what kept me motivated, I guess. But the motivation did kind of just die down because you're just there for a long time. I mean, it's almost 21 weeks of AIT. It's just a long time. I feel really bad for those of you that are going to have an MOS where the AIT is longer than 21 weeks, because man, it's a long time, because you get halfway through AIT for me and you're like, all right, I'm 10 weeks through, and then you're like, crap. Like in this time, people who are showing up at AIT, the new guys, right, after 10 weeks, are people who didn't even leave for basic training yet whenever you got to AIT. And that's kind of where it's just like weird. You're like, these people were civilians whenever I got here, and now I'm here, they've gone through basic training, and I'm still here. It's like, what the heck? So it's just a long time. It's just a long time. What? What the heck is he saying? Flight school. Oh crap! It went away. How would you go airborne without it on my contract? MOS is aviation operations specialist. So while there, the way that you can go airborne after AIT is really one of 2 ways, or 3 ways, I guess. So if you don't have airborne on your contract, if you want airborne on your contract, I suggest really getting that if possible. But if you don't have it, if you go to a unit after AIT, if your unit after AIT where you get stationed is an airborne unit, it is very, very, very likely that you're going to go to airborne school. Especially like if you want to go to airborne school and you go to an airborne unit, then they're going to have airborne slots available for you. If you want one, you're going to be able to pick that up and you're going to go to airborne school. That's going to be super easy, but that is just not guaranteed. So like that's difficult. The other way that you can do it is being a good soldier, having a good PT test, a really, really good PT test, you know, preferably 300, and then just kind of waiting it out. And then eventually when like the opportunity arises, you can, you know, when the opportunity arises, this is kind of how it'll work. So if you're in a unit and all of a sudden they have the chance to send 3 people to airborne school, more than likely what they're going to do is they're going to pick the 3 people with the highest PT scores that don't have airborne already. So if you're one of those, then that's kind of how you're going to get it. If you're a good soldier, you might be able to finagle yourself in there, maybe if you don't have that 300 PT score. So that's kind of how you can do that. And then the other thing is to go to boards go to, I haven't really talked about boards that much on this channel. That's kind of crazy. But going to boards and stuff like that where you're going to do little competitions and you're going to compete and do Soldier of the Quarter. Man, I really haven't talked about this that much on this channel at all. So there's like this thing in the military. You have like Soldier of the Quarter, Soldier of the Year, and all these different things. I did the Army Reserves Best Warrior contest. I won that. And then I also became Soldier of the Year for this whole command, right? Over like 10,000 people competing for this. So if you do that, if you win these boards, which I can explain boards if y'all want me to, but if you win these things, then people, your higher ups, your first sergeant and stuff, they'll literally just ask you like, do you want to go to airborne school? Because like you won it. It's kind of like, it's just kind of like, it just happens. Like people, when you win stuff like this, it just happens. I know I got asked that. They asked me at a horrible time. They're like, you know, I'm taking 19 credit hours in college, and they were like, hey, do you want to go to airborne school? This was after I won that competition. I'm like, I can't. Like, I got 19 credit hours right now. I can't miss a month and a half of school. Like, that's not even possible. So anyways, that's how you can do it. I feel like I went on really long for that. But anyways. ST Silver, going to bed, got school tomorrow. See ya, dude. Did they change the PT test for basic? Hey, what's up, Robbie? Did they change the PT test for basic? As far as I know, no. If you're talking about the new ACRT test, that is not supposed to be implemented until I think it is like late summer of 2018. So yeah, so I don't think, I mean, the thing that they're doing, people, like if you look up pictures of the ACRT test, they're literally just like testing it out. Like that's what they're doing, is they're letting this company at basic training do it, and they're just like, okay, they're gonna do it. We're gonna see how everything goes. You know, do we need to make changes to the maximum and minimum scores and stuff like that? So that's kind of what they're doing. What is Robbie saying? The ACRT test seems so whack, but definitely a better test for full body strength. Yeah, man. Like I agree. I don't know how like the push-ups are gonna be. I didn't pay attention to this that much whenever I first looked it up, but like the push-ups, you lay down with your arms like on the ground like this, and then like you do a push-up, and then I don't know. It's really confusing. I don't really know how that's going to work really. I think it's going to be interesting, but I think that they have like too many events, and some of the events are just complicated. But I like as a whole, I do like it better as a whole test for your physical strength. And anyways, can you request deployments? If you are in the reserves or the guard, you can kind of request deployments. You can't just like go and say, hey, I want to be deployed, and then expect to deploy. You'll have to request it, and then kind of be lucky in the fact that a unit that you can transfer to is deploying currently or in the near future. Or something that happens in the military on the reserve side is if a unit is deploying and maybe they don't have enough eligible soldiers to deploy, then they might actually look and reach out to other units and stuff and be like, hey, we need people. So that's kind of a way you can request it. So yeah, live videos are awesome. I just had to get a bunch of equipment and stuff, which I did when I first did my live streams. I was using my phone. Now I have this webcam, and I have a mic now. If any of you saw on Snapchat. Anyways. What's my best PT score? If you talk about the extended scale, I've basically done this twice, but my best PT score is 338 on the extended scale, and then the other one I did was like 335. So as long as I like max this stuff, so if I were to take the PT test right now, I would probably get around 325 to 330. But if I knew I was going to have a PT test 2 months from now, or well, really like a month from now, I would do better. But I am going to have a PT test this January, and then I have another one in April. But my one in April, I'm really gunning for getting a 350 PT score. That's like my ultimate goal, is to get a 350 on the extended scale for the PT test. But I've really got to improve my running. Like my run time, my personal best for the run is 11:43 for the 2-mile run. But I'm thinking I'm going to have to get that below like 11:15, almost an 11 flat for the 2-mile, get over 100 push-ups, get over 100 sit-ups if I can, and then I can get that 350. Michael, hey, I'm pretty sure if Robbie's still here, if Robbie Boyd is still here, he is a 68. I think you're a 68 whiskey, 68 something. You could ask him. You can ask him what the 68 series questions. Dang, I feel like this is like probably the only stream that has felt like longer than it actually is. I feel like I've answered a lot of questions, but it's only been like 35 minutes. Normally, I'm like, man, it hasn't been that long. Oh crap, it's been 2 hours. That's kind of how it normally is. Okay, you're 68, Charlie. I knew you were 68 something. So if you have an opinion on the 68 whiskey, I know you also like to kind of like help people out and give people advice. Robbie Boyd, if you guys didn't know, is also kind of another military YouTuber. So you can check him out if you want to, because yeah. What's the minimum score you can get on the PT test, on the PT to pass? So at basic training, you just have to get a 50th or 50 percentile in each category. So the minimum overall score will be a 180. And then once you get to AIT and beyond, you've got to get a 60 percentile in each category, or 60 points in each category, which will be a 180. I'm pretty sure I said that right. But at basic training, you got to get a 150. At AIT, you got to get a 180. And then beyond that, also, it's a 180. So that is really not that difficult. Now, if you're starting from nothing, if you're starting from the bottom, it might be difficult at times. But once you actually build that up, you know, getting a PT score that is above 180 is not that difficult. It only takes minimal effort to keep that up. The hardest thing for the PT test for people is the run. By far, it is the hardest thing for people to do, because it's just the thing that takes the most discipline to do. So if you wanna improve your push-ups, if you wanna improve your sit-ups, you know, you could do that with 10 minutes a day, right? Or less, right? Or not even 10 minutes a day. You could do that like, you know, 2 minutes a day on average. Just max out on push-ups every day, and then you'll be fine. But like for the run though, people will freaking, I guess, not have the motivation and not run on their own, and just slack out on the stuff. So like if you're doing a release run for PT, what a release run is, for those of you who don't know, it's one of the things that you do in the military, which is, you know, for example, you're going to do a 3-mile run. Well, sometimes you might run in formation, sometimes you might run in ability groups where you run with other people who are your skill level, and you kind of run with a person leading the pack. But a release run is where, let's say you just run possibly down, it's a down and back track, so you run down, and then on the way back, so 1.5 miles on the way back, you are released, and you can run at whatever pace you want to do. A lot of people, and it's the people who honestly sometimes are struggling on the PT test, who don't need to do this, will go really, really slow, and they won't push themselves, so they're not going to get any better. So the thing about the running is it just takes you pushing yourself, because if you're running like super slow, you could be doing fine, but you're not going to really improve your run by doing that. So nice. What is he saying? Focus on getting stronger, improving endurance. You will lose weight if you eat right and work out consistently. Totally right. That is right. What happens when you fail the PT test? It kind of depends on where you're at. So if you're at basic training, you can fail every single PT test until the last PT test. And then if you fail that PT test, then you can retake the PT test. And then you might get a chance to take it again. If you fail that one, you might get recycled. But at basic training, you'll pretty much take the PT test until you pass. And then if you just literally never pass, then you'll probably get recycled. Go back to another company, finish that out, try and do the PT test again, and hopefully, for the love of God, you've passed it by then. At AIT and stuff and beyond, if you fail 2 record PT tests in a row, you are supposed to be chaptered out of the military. Okay, so what that means is, in the military, you will take a diagnostic PT test and you will take a record PT test. It doesn't matter if you fail the diagnostic PT test. That is just like a test PT test. It doesn't like go on your record. Then you have a record. Holy freaking crap. I'm going to mention that in just a second. But then you have a record PT test, which goes on your record. And if you fail 2 record PT tests in a row, then you will be chaptered out of the military. You'll be discharged out of the military. So you don't want to fail 2 record PT tests in a row. So what will happen is you'll take a diagnostic, then you'll take a record, and then you could also, if you fail that one, then the next PT test won't be a record. It will probably be a diagnostic PT test. So that's kind of what happens. But anyways, I just fell on the stairs because my fat cat was laying down on the first step. What a super chat message. That is like, that you just made me smile, man. That, like, you're making my night. That's I didn't expect to read that on a super chat message. So thank you so much, Tommy. Thank you. Freaking thank you so much. That I really appreciate that more than you guys know. For you willing to do that, that just means so much to me. It's crazy. Oh, man. Are you wanting to go active duty later? The answer is no, but I do want to get deployed multiple times, right? So the reason for that is I know myself, and when I tell people that are wanting to join the military, like, what should you do? Should you do active? Should you do reserve? Should you do guard? Should you do the Air Force? Whatever. You are going to live your life. At some point in time, you're going to leave the military. At some point in time, doesn't matter if you're going to go up to the rank of general, at some point in time, you're going to leave the military. Do what you want to do in life, right? For me, personally, I really love computers and programming and tech stuff. And the current job and career that I have right now is exactly what I want to do. Also, what I want to do is be in the military, and I want to be deployed. I want to do that part of life, right? So the reserves allows me to have the civilian job that I want, and then every couple of years get deployed, right? So, like, that's what I want to do. If I went active duty, which full-on active duty, you are not allowed to have another job. If you are, you have to get that approved. So, like, I couldn't be, you know, a software developer like I am right now and be active duty in the military. Like, you can't do that. So, no, I'm not going to go active duty. But currently, I've almost been in about 3 years in the military. I'm wanting to do, honestly, about 25 years in the reserves. But in the reserves, I would like to have 4 to 5 deployments in that. So, like, every, like, 4 or 5 years, I would like to deploy. So, anyways. Air Force job selection sucks. Yeah, the Air Force, Tommy, like, my brother is currently going through the process of joining the Air Force. And from what he says, I didn't consider the Air Force at all, just so you guys know. So I'm not going to know a whole bunch about it. But from what he says, like, you kind of pick like a field that you want to get into, and then kind of like based on your ASVAB and certain different things. And then I guess after training, like, you will have your job assigned to you. So I'm sure there's not going to be a whole lot of different things. So I really appreciate you not using profanity in your videos. Thank you. That is something that I actually get a lot. And I guess it makes sense. Like, I don't want to be vulgar or anything. I don't like curse anyways, but like I don't want to you know, do that. And I think there's not much of a need for that. It's one of those things that when you join the military, because I did not curse before the military. I didn't. People are like, "Oh, you're going to be cursing, you're going to be drinking, you're going to be doing all this stuff." And I'm like, no, like, first of all, for me, I don't give into peer pressure at all. But like that, the military hasn't changed me in that way that I am more vulgar in any sense of that way at all. So, if you were going to change a PT exercise, what would it be? I would change, if I had my way right now, I would change the current PT test, the sit-up exercise, and change it to the new PT test sit-up exercise, which is where you're going to hang from the bar and you're going to lift your knees up to touch your elbows. That's what I would do, and then that, in my opinion, would be a much better PT test. You will get to do the running, the push-ups, and a better test of your core strength, in my opinion. So, anyways. Why did that restrict? How to work out your forearms. There's a couple of ways that you can work out your forearms. I don't have any dumbbells around with me, but let's say my arm right now is resting on a bench or something. You can hold a dumbbell, probably like 15 pounds or so, let your wrist hang, and then just lift your wrist up. You can also do the same thing reversed. You have your arm reversed and let the dumbbell roll down your hand, and you basically curl it back up. You can also get those things to squeeze in your hands. That's also another thing. So anyways, if you really want to look up forearm exercises, Google. When is the new PT test going to start? It is scheduled to start August 2018, I believe late summer. That is what I have read. But in my opinion, I think that's probably just going to be pushed back. But that's my opinion, because things just tend to take a long time to implement. But because it's not like set in stone, it is not set in stone yet that the PT test is going to be implemented this next summer, at the end of the next summer. So because it's not set in stone, I expect it to be pushed back. But like as soon as like it's literally set in stone, like how the uniforms that we have right now, they were like, all right, we're getting these new uniforms on this day. The other ones are going to be cycled out on this day. So anyways. Yeah, so like being a legal immigrant joining the military is kind of a longer process. So from right now, it's actually a really long process. I haven't talked to this guy in probably about 4 months, because he's transferred to another unit. But apparently, I think with Trump's like plan, there's something that he's doing right now that is just making the process longer for immigrants and stuff to join the military, the United States military. That's what I hear, but obviously I don't have firsthand experience on that, so I wouldn't really know. How often do the military change uniforms? I don't know. It seems like, just from my thought, it seems like maybe every 15 years or so they probably change uniforms, but I'm not sure. So the ACUs came into effect like right around the turn of the century, so like around like 2000 or something. I'm not 100% sure, but around every 15 years or so. Cycle uniforms 2 times a week, yeah. Did I vote for Trump? Yes, I voted for Trump. I'm gonna say that. I will also say that he wasn't my first pick for the Republican Party, but yes, I voted for Trump. I did not vote for Hillary. So anyways, thank you, Thean Hunt, for subscribing to me. That is freaking awesome. So thank you. But yeah, so Special Forces question. Devin, what question about Special Forces do you want to know? I can only answer certain things, but yeah, I would love to. When I do get deployed, it would be so cool if I got attached to a Special Forces unit. Like, that would be like the optimal thing for me. Because like in the reserves, being all of the reserves, if you guys didn't know, are support MOSs. So we can support all different combat freaking battalions or whatever. So like if I could support a Special Forces unit, that would be awesome. Were you scared of heights? Cloudy HD. No, I love heights. I cannot wait to jump out of a plane and go airborne. I cannot wait to do that. During the confidence course at basic training, I've done the confidence course probably like 3 or 4 times now. I love it. I love heights. I just love that feeling. It's weird, but I kind of love that feeling. So, Grandpa was a major in the South Vietnamese Army. Really? How often does the National Guard deploy? again, it literally just depends. It depends on the unit that you're going to. So you could be in, for example, a National Guard unit that is attached to the 82nd Airborne unit. So that unit might tend to deploy a little bit more often. You might come across units that haven't deployed in a while. And generally, like, the way it kind of works is my unit right now is deploying. All right, so my unit that I'm at right now is deploying. They're taking a lot of the people, but the way it works is I'm at this unit, but like they're not taking everybody, and like I'm gonna be the only person left. That's not really how it works. My like higher unit, the 103rd, they are basically taking on a list of all these people, selecting all these people to go on a deployment. So like, how often do you deploy? Do you deploy a lot? Like it kind of just depends. So, but it's about, in the National Guard and in the reserves, it's about as often as active duty, especially if you really want to deploy, because every time a slot comes up that you can deploy, you could try and get that. So you could deploy a lot in the reserves and in the Guard if you really wanted to. So, North Carolina National Guard deployed in July, so the next rotation for 82nd will be 2020. Yeah, so like it's usually both active Guard, reserves. It's around about 4 years or so. But anyways, bye Michael. Bye. Do you get paid in the Army? Yes. Yes, you get paid. And a weird question that I've actually gotten a lot recently is, people are asking, when you're in the reserves, like, what job do you have when you're not doing your Army stuff? And it's just, you get a normal job. You are not going to be able to live off of your reserve paycheck. Like, you're not going to. It's just like it like doesn't even pay for my car payment, right? So like, well, currently with E5, I currently get E5 pay. So like, E5 pay for the reserves after taxes is like $250 a month, right? So that's not that much. Now, whenever I become a second lieutenant, before taxes, I do know that it's going to be, I think $550 a month, and then after taxes, it'll probably be like $420 or something like that. So yeah, so you're not going to live off of your reserve paycheck, and then you will need just a normal regular job. So, have you ever killed someone? No. No, I haven't. Like I said, I haven't been deployed yet, guys. I haven't been deployed yet. And even if you do get deployed, that's not like a guarantee that you're going to be in an instance of when you're going to kill somebody. What is the dumbest thing oh gosh, I can't. I have a dumbest thing I did in the Army, but because I'm in the Army, I can't say it. Like, I am currently in the military right now, even though I'm in the reserves. You're a soldier 24/7, and I can't answer that question. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Oh man. I'm just thinking about this. I can't tell. I could get in a lot of trouble for telling this. So, and I'm curious, like, what you guys think. Hide. An anonymous Panesia, I've of course got to delete that message. You can't say that crap. Do you get deployed if you are at war? So like, if we go to war, then more than likely a lot of people are going to deploy, and you're going to deploy a lot, even in the reserves. I know currently they are trying to put more of an emphasis on the reserves. But as far as like active duty and like the military in general, if we go to war, like if we go to war with South Korea, a lot of people are going to get deployed. A lot of people are going to be activated from the reserves and from the Guard to go and help support that. And if you're in the military in the next couple of years, it's a very high possibility that you're going to get deployed into a wartime scenario. Okay, what is your thought on drill sergeants going What is my thought on drill sergeants going to basic or going to AIT? So you're saying like the drill sergeants like basically having the platoon sergeants at AIT now having drill sergeants. I know they used to have that. I personally feel like it would be kind of pointless depending on the MOS. Like for me, for example, again, my AIT was 21 weeks. That's like a longer AIT. And to have drill sergeants for an entirety of 32 weeks or whatever it is with basic and AIT that I had combined, like that's just a long time. So I don't personally like it. I don't feel like there's really much of a need for drill sergeants at AIT. Justin, you had a question on the tip of your brain, but like, what the heck, man? You forgot? Are there any jobs you're guaranteed to stay in the States with? I'm going to say no, with the exception of one possible, with that one being cyber. I'm not really sure, with cyber being such a new branch. You probably will still get deployed there. I take that back. You're probably definitely going to get deployed, at least overseas, but there'll be really no reason for you to like go in some combat zone really as a cyber soldier. Like you might go to like Germany or like someplace overseas, but you know, I don't see cyber soldiers really going to see much combat because that's kind of not the point of what they do literally. But every other MOS, yeah. Yeah, 17 Charlie. The whole 17 series is whatchamacallit. 17 Charlie. You only get deployed to the Pentagon. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, like if you know for a fact, then let me know. But I mean, it is a high probability of like going to the Pentagon or like Washington D.C. and a unit and stuff like that. Like if you do get cyber. But anyways. I can only do push-ups. Can I still join? Yeah, you can still join. One of my buddies, I just talked to him the other day. I went to basic training with him, and I helped progress him through basic training. But when he got to basic, the first PT test he did 3 push-ups. 3. 1, 2, 3 push-ups for the first PT test. So if you can do 20, you can. If he can do it, you can do it. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Is if he can do it, you can do it. Because like his mile was super slow. It's crazy. Okay. How's like reception in AIT first day? So reception when you get to AIT, reception at basic training and reception at AIT are like completely different. For me, in my experience, when you get to AIT, it's not really like a reception type deal like it is at basic training. What we did is you get there, you have your bags and stuff, and then we had like a little briefing on where we were at, and then we had to sign some papers and stuff and go through and say like if we had any laptops. Basically, you go through everything that you bring, you lay everything out that you have, you get shown to your room and stuff like that, and it's just like, you know, you go through a whole lot of briefs about, you know, different military information and stuff. Like it's not that much to it. It's not gonna be like reception at basic training by far. Yeah, AIT in process. I mean, it's boring because you also, like the first few days of AIT when you get there, you're also going to have to take like these classes, like financial classes and like all these different classes that are just like super boring. If you're blind in one eye, would there be jobs in the Army? I could still join. My recruiter acts like it won't be a big deal. Have you ever seen anyone that has joined? If you are blind in one eye and your recruiter is telling you that's not going to be a problem, like what the heck is his problem? Because Adam Hogan, as far as I know, like that definitely should disqualify you. Like as far as I know, like, yeah. So anyways, by the way, I have a question. I have a real quick question. If I got off of this live stream soon and then live streamed Call of Duty, how many of you would watch? Question. That's my question. Because I'm hitting an hour right now. It's not his good eye. I did 3 years of JROTC. What will my rank be going into basic and coming out? Going into the basic training, if you have JROTC experience, that is going to qualify you to be the E2 rank. So instead of coming in as an E1, you can come in as an E2. If you also have that experience and you recruit, I believe, 2 people into the Army, then you can get promoted to E3 before... you can get promoted to E3 before basic training. What you will come out as after basic training is either the same rank, or you might get promoted up 1 rank if you did well at basic training and you were one of the soldiers that they selected to get promoted. So anyways. So I only see like 1 person talking about the Call of Duty thing, so I may not. So the only thing I'm scared of for basic is the confidence course. It's not much scared. Oh crap, the chat went down. Y'all are going too fast. The only thing I'm scared of for the things that I have to go through, but I'm more scared of failing it. Brian Kloss, have you seen my video on the only way to fail basic training? If not, you should check it out. If any of you guys want to fill him in on the only way to fail basic training in the comment section, feel free to do so. If not, you can watch that video. I'm going to say that. What if you get deployed but you are at work? What does that mean? So, I don't know what that means, really. I will watch COD. World War II? No, do it. No, do it. COD. Okay, so a few people want me to do COD. So, does the Army have an introduction videos for noobs in boot camp? Like, there's a really patriotic video called The Greatest Story Never Told, and I really think military would benefit from watching it. Are you talking about like actually being in the military? No, like you're not gonna, once you actually join and you go to basic training and you get to reception, you're gonna watch 1 video at the beginning. It's gonna basically be about the rules and stuff like that, and then yeah, they're not gonna like show you anything like super patriotic to make you go hooah hooah and be like, yeah, I love the military. No, they're gonna kill your soul. They're gonna kill your soul at reception. At least if you go to Fort Benning. Like, I don't know why it blows my mind. Like, why at Fort Jackson, if you go to reception, can you still have your phone? Whereas, like, at Fort Benning, like, it is just horrible compared to other receptions. For any of you guys going to Fort Benning for basic training, you're going to go to this place called 30th AG. That is the reception battalion at Fort Benning. It is likely that your couple of days at reception at Fort Benning are going to be worse than your actual basic training experience. I am just saying that because they treat you like crap. It is super boring, and like they just treat you like crap. I'm just saying, like they really do. They really do. What can you suggest doing if I want to go to Ranger School? Ranger School, again, people get things confused. Brass or Ranger Regiment versus Ranger School. If you want to go to Ranger School, that is going to be something that you're going to have to do post-training. You're not going to get Ranger School on your enlistment contract. This is not going to happen. I'm scared of Eagle Tower. You're going to be fine. You are going to be fine, I promise. And if you're not fine, the drill sergeants are going to yell at you until you do it. So you're going to do it one way or the other. So, anyways. What? For basic training, I'm going to SIL. Know anything about it? Yeah, nobody I've ever heard of that went to Fort Sill liked Fort Sill. So that's what you have to look forward to. The Greatest Story is a 6-hour video about Hitler, and it claims he was good. Really? I've never heard of this video called The Greatest Story. Play COD. Okay, I have enough people who are saying that they will watch if I play Call of Duty, so I'll at least play Call of Duty for a little bit. And I am planning on get off of the stream here anyways, because like Call of Duty World War II is out. I am trying very, very hard not to play it a lot because I have a lot of work to do and I have a lot of things to do. But I'm trying to limit myself. So, but I will play for a little bit. What do I play Call of Duty on? I play it on my Xbox. So I have an Xbox, not a PS4. I would assume you would suggest not to bring your phone at all. No, Kyle, bring your phone, okay? Now, you will get it taken away from you, but those couple of times that you're going to be allowed to use your phone, you need your phone, okay? So, like, bring your phone and bring a charger. That is something that people forget. Like, they went to basic training, people in my platoon, they brought their phone, but then they forgot their charger. So bring your phone and bring your charger. It's going to be locked away in a safe place in the drill sergeant's office whenever you're at basic training. And then every couple of weeks, you might get a 30-minute phone call or so. So bring your phone. Yeah. Yeah, it's called The Greatest Story, and it's about Hitler. The greatest story never told is about America. Interesting. I might need to look it up. 88 Mike is practically infantry. What do you mean? What's your thoughts on 88 Mike? So there's my unit is a transportation unit, so there are 75% of the people are 88 Mikes and 88 Novembers and stuff. But I mean, my thoughts on transportation, it's not that bad. It's actually a pretty cool job if you get certain privileges. So like one of my buddies, when he was deployed, he was the driver for like the battalion commander and the battalion sergeant major. So like that's a pretty cool gig. So like he didn't have anybody above him to answer to. Like he just answered directly to the battalion commander and the battalion sergeant major. So that was a pretty cool job. But I mean, you know, if you don't like driving, don't do it. It can be really boring because you have to check the vehicles all the time. Whenever you're driving Humvees, like you might think it's cool at the current moment to drive like a military vehicle and be like, oh yeah, it's super sweet, I want to drive a Humvee. But it's kind of not, and then it's also really uncomfortable in Humvees. So, any info on aviation operations specialist? I don't have a whole lot of information on that, but I know if you want to go aviation, please don't have any medical issues, be good on your PT score, and then be fairly smart. Why do all the 17 stars think they are so cool at Fort Gordon? KD aerials? I don't know. I have never seen an 18 Charlie or a 17 Charlie. I've never talked to one or anything. Because whenever I first joined and I was at Fort Gordon, 17 series was not a thing yet. That came about in 2016. Whenever I was at Fort Gordon, I was there in 2015. So yeah. So I don't know why they all think that, but any information on sniper school? I do know from one of my friends who went. It's pretty difficult, but you can make it through. That's the thing that I have for that. Zombies. All right. So you guys are trained at Fort Sam Houston. To E3 if I get a good PT score. Alright, so months down, and then basic training after 3 months. So I'll have 6 months time in grade by the end of basic. So my question is this I go in crap. I feel like I'm really bad at reading whenever I'm trying to do this because the chat is like moving around and I'm like struggling to read it. Okay. Going in as an E1, by the end of basic I'll be E2. Can I get promoted? So like if you're coming into basic training as an E1, you get automatically promoted after 6 months. It doesn't really matter if you are in the guard or the reserves, and because whenever your swearing date, wherever your time in service starts, 6 months from then, the timer will start, and after 6 months, you will get promoted to E2. Now, at basic training, at basic training, you have to be one of the better soldiers. You have to like get a good PT test or be a good leader or just be an all around really good soldier, and then you can get promoted there early. So like if you're E1 to E2, that's not that. How am I gonna put this? E1 to E2 is 6 months, but then like something that people don't think about. Like, you're not going to get promoted at basic training. A lot of times these things just take a long time. So you could be promoted to E2 after 6 months, but then like it doesn't actually show up that you're actually promoted to E2 for like another couple of months. But anyways, Alan Fox, does the National Guard deploy a lot? I answered this question like 2 times already, but it just depends on the unit that you go to, honestly. But anyways, that's going to be it for this stream. I just want to thank all of you for coming out. This was actually pretty cool. So it was an hour and 10 minutes. I was planning... Tommy, freaking... I'm just about to get off of the stream, man. These are my tips for my Dunkin' Donuts job. Oh, man. Another great message. But, man, I was just about to get off the stream. Like, I feel guilty if I get off of the stream whenever I just get a super chat. Man. But I am going to get off the stream because I'm going to get back on the stream and I'm going to be live streaming Call of Duty. It won't be immediately. It'll probably be in about 10 or 15 minutes or so, and then I'll probably stream for, I don't know, at least 30 to 45 minutes or so, probably until midnight my time. We will see. But anyways, thank you all for coming out. Thank you, Tommy, for donating in the super chat. You're the real MVP, man. Like, thank you so much. Yeah, happy Veterans Day. So for any of you who have already joined, happy Veterans Day to you guys. It'll be a day late now. But yeah, if you didn't watch that Veterans Day video and you did join recently, you probably should watch that because I think it gives a little bit of insight or something that a lot of you guys are going to have problems with over the next little bit. Ellen, man, thank you. Medics don't get tips, but here you go. Thank you, Ellen. All right, so I am about to get off the stream. I'm closing this thing off, and then I'm going to come up on the stream in about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. So I will see you guys soon. Again, thank you guys so much, and I will stop the stream right now.